All right, the Metroid Prime Suit Choice incentive has now closed, and with $2,425, Fusion Suit is the winner. Cool. And now starting is Metroid Prime with JustinDM. Take it away, Justin.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we got the targets.
Nice.
Let's see if we can get the second set.
We.
It's that middle one again.
That middle one sucks.
All right, a little bit about movement in this game is there's a forward, a backwards, and an upward speed cap, but there's not a sideways speed cap. So while we're not in Morph Ball, Justin's going to try to be moving sideways as much as possible.
It's worth noting that movement in this game is so complex, and any trick in this game is really not that important compared to having really, really clean movement, because you can lose like minutes over just even like good versus great movement. It's really crazy how intense it is. And on another note, if you have any trick that looks really, really cool and impressive, it saves like 30 seconds tops, and all the ones that look super boring save a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
So you can lock onto either scan points or enemies, and normally you can do like a combat dash around, but if you let go of L, you can maintain that top end speed.
Yeah, the intended mechanic is so that you can like move around enemies and such, and it's actually pretty essential to combat at a higher level in this game, but you can also abuse it extremely, and it makes the game much more exploitable. The turrets in this room actually have a specific knockback that's stronger than normal, just to try and push you out of the way, and it's really annoying because it can cause the door to close again and lose a bunch of time right at the beginning of the run for no reason at all.
Okay, coming up, if you hold C up, you can rapid fire your missiles, and on this boss you just aim up at her mouth and you can get the, I think it's double or triple damage?
It does double damage, I believe.
Yeah.
Double damage, okay.
Yeah,
Normally you're supposed to scan it, and then you can lock onto the mouth, because the game revolves around locking on. You're not really supposed to be manually aiming.
Yeah, it revolves around locking on and scanning things to get more information.
So some tech that Justin's trying to do there is to, if you jump within, I believe it's 2 frames of hitting the ground, you can either maintain or gain speed if you're holding R and touch L right before you hit the ground. And so doing that in certain places saves you time, like in that hallway there.
All right, so what Justin did here was he morphed into a specific corner of the room, and that allowed him to get repositioned out of bounds.
I can't do anything except for float here.
This is extremely unfortunate.
That's going to lose a lot of time.
It's also worth pointing out, this trick has been used in 3 GDQs now, I believe, maybe even 4. And nobody's pointed out that Justin was actually the one that found that trick. So I feel like it's worth mentioning.
Yeah, and it was found by complete accident as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game's just going to push him up pixel by pixel until he gets to a point where he can get a jump.
You'll see in a second here that Samus's arm cannon will start bobbing up and down kind of quickly, and at that point he can slowly get a jump.
Anytime now.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do to speed, or nothing that anyone can do to speed this up. Just have to wait.
Shall I read a donation while we wait?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Right, we have a $50 donation from Famous Xros, who says, fellow Prime runner here, there is only one way to do this run correct, and it is with the Fusion Suit. So it's a good thing we chose Fusion Suit. Quick thanks to everyone participating behind the scenes and on stage this year.
All right, so the people that we have on the couch, of course, we have Justin running. My name's Tom Lube. We have Edson right here, and we got Ari. Ari sitting next to me. We got Aspen Will right here, and we have Pitsky MP as well. In the back, we got Mr. Pudic. We got JRP. We got Skull.
Okay, so what Justin's doing here is a series of 3-frame jumps in order to climb this room quickly. But basically the big purpose out of bounds is hit load triggers, go on the doors to be able to transition to the next room.
Yeah, every door has a transition trigger, and normally you walk through it to transition into the next room. You notice the transition happens when the map changes in the top right corner, but you can hit almost every single one of these out of bounds. So it's, of course, extremely convenient when we're traveling out of bounds to save time.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's no way to just go directly where you want to go. You have to go room by room.
Yeah.
Okay, what he's doing here is a door warp. He's letting the room load around him, and then allows him to get back in bounds. Nice camera.
All right, so that was absolutely flawless. Off
Yeah.
to a good start, but
That was probably world record pace there. That's great.
even the smallest mistake in this run can cause massive amounts of time lost. So.
Yeah. Yeah, the mistake that caused so much time was pressing X a very tiny bit too late. Like, it's not even fair. This game is so punishing.
So here I'm going to do a scan dash to the right, and it'll allow me to collect space jump first, which breaks open the early game.
Again, this trick looks pretty innocuous, but it saves a ridiculous amount of time.
Nice.
It saves like several minutes.
Yeah. It's hard to even like actually accurately estimate because it just destroys the early game so much.
Yeah, the whole early game is built around only having a single jump.
Yeah, so it allows you to missile fast, and you don't have to backtrack for space jump. So.
Yeah, and even backtracking for space jump alone is a huge amount of time save. You might have noticed, you heard the jump sound, but Justin didn't move because this game, when you collide with two separate parts of collision that are connecting to each other, it likes to just grab you and not let you go for a little bit, and it's extremely annoying and pretty much impossible to prevent because you can't possibly know where two pieces of collision are connecting. There's really clean movement in that room.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so the only difference between the missile expansions and the missile launcher is just a fancy cutscene. So he just dashed up there to get that missile, and now he has fully functioning missiles.
Yeah. And the missile launcher item pickup is tilted like 20 degrees or something. Because the room is supposed to be tilted as well.
Yeah.
So there I just dashed over a boss fight trigger. And since the community uses in-game time, I'm going to roll back into it. So I will be unmorphed, and now I can dash out of the room.
Bye.
And now we get to listen to this music for 5 minutes.
Yes. I hope you're really excited about it because it's there.
Yeah, so the in-game timer in this game only ticks up when you have direct control of Samus. So watching that cutscene saves time because of that.
So this room is kind of interesting. It's a connected room, and it loads every single room that it's connected to at once, no matter how you enter it. But the thing is, the room we're in right now loads immediately, and the other one adjacent that we don't need to use loads later. But if we pause, the game ignores that and lets you enter that room right away without the other one loading, even though it's supposed to wait for the other one to load fully. It's the only room in the game that does that you can do to save time in. It's really strange.
I have no idea why it works.
Yeah. So for example, we're talking about in-game time and RTA, and like right now, this isn't costing any time towards the actual outcome of the run as we measure it in the community. Cutscenes and dialogue boxes and stuff like that do not matter. Same with pausing.
And all the elevators as well.
Yeah. Except all the elevators have a like weird transition thing where they add like 1 frame before every cutscene for some reason.
Yeah, before and after.
Trying to get a missile drop there, and we got it, thankfully.
Okay, so the goal of this fight is to just wait for the incinerator drone's weak spot to pop up, and then you just shoot it. That's random when it comes up. So like the first one has 8 to 13 seconds of a window, and then the other 3 are 15 to 25 seconds. So this fight can have up to 35 seconds of variance.
We were talking about earlier in the practice room, and somebody did the math for it, and the amount of attempts you'd have to do to get like the most ideal time was like 25,600 attempts or something like that, just to get one shot at getting what is like would be the ideal for this boss fight, which is insane.
It'd be 53 seconds for an ideal fight.
Yeah.
And it's like
28, sorry.
28
128.
For the longest fight.
Yeah.
This one is not bad so far.
It's also worth pointing out, where Justin's standing, you're not supposed to be able to stand on it. It just exists, like most of the things in this game, so we just use it because it's there.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent fight.
Generally, we determine how good the fight was by if the music loops or not, and I ended the fight before it looped, so that was a good fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so Samus's hitbox doesn't change until after she fully morphs, so you can start your morph as you get that missile expansion.
It does change instantly as soon as you unmorph, though.
Yeah, it does.
to prevent you from smushing yourself into places that you shouldn't be, presumably. So here we're going to be doing another trick to get out of bounds. We got that jump first try, which is really impressive because it's extremely ornery. And Justin was having trouble with it in the practice room because, again, it's very ornery. This entire trick was actually found like quite a long time ago in 2005 by a guy named Flamancipator. And nobody actually used it in runs because it was banned in 2010 for reasons. Out of bounds was banned in 2010 for reasons. And it actually saves, what is it, almost 4 minutes, or a bit more than 4 minutes and 100%.
Yeah, it's like 4 to 7 minutes or something like that.
Goodness, yeah.
So again, Justin might be seeming to land in random spots, but those are hit load triggers to load the next room.
And everything is just carefully planned out so that we don't fall.
Yeah, it looks kind of like arbitrary where he's landing, but every place is actually like extremely practiced and precise, for the most part anyway. In general, you can't land on collision that should be there but is invisible because you're on the other side of it. You have to land on things like seams and cracks and stuff like that.
That was a really, really
That
good
was
roll.
really
solid
good.
IDF, yeah.
That was really good. And sometimes with out of bounds.
Well,
And sometimes with out of bounds collisions, there's actual standable spots that just reach out for some reason. And those are really nice.
yeah, sometimes like floors and stuff extend a bit past out where they should be outside the map.
Yeah, so we let this cutscene play out, and then you just hold C down. That way the beam change happens immediately. It saves some in-game time.
We have time for donations.
Perfect. We have a $1,000 anonymous donation with no comment. So to whomever that is, thank you for your kindness. We also have a $15 donation from Overt Helping, who says, Metroid Prime is my favorite game of all time. Never since has a world been so immersive to me. Thank you for the memories. $15 to the health of humanity and killing the animals. Pixley donates $25 to saving the animals. Donating $25 to save the animals. If the animals die, then Other M becomes canon. No one wants that. Is that true, Couch? Does nobody want that?
Nobody
wants that.
at all.
Nobody wants that.
That does seem to be the consensus. Chris R227 donates $150 and says, I happened to log into PayPal to find some extra cash. So here we go to a good cause. Save the frames and kill the animals. Word donates $151 and says, this has become one of my favorite charitable events to watch. Thank you to the runners and the many hours of entertainment. Bidding challenge goes to Announcer's Choice, which, everyone for reference, is having opera sung after the Ratchet & Clank run on Thursday, later in the week.
So the only point of actually doing that fight is technically for the energy tank, but also for an artifact that we're going to get later when we have to come back and do Chozo cleanup. The artifacts are required to beat the game, and also a requirement for 100%. Good camera.
Oh yeah, so these doors opening are not random. It's just the time it takes for the next room to load. And some of them can take a little bit of time, like the one heading into Energy Core.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out that there's quite a few instances in this game where it looks like rooms are not necessarily being done the most optimal way, but it's actually just trying to hit the load trigger so we can get the next room loading as quickly as possible, because you just have no time to do that otherwise. Like, you're just sitting there waiting either way, so you have to hit the low trigger quickly.
Okay, so if you you can actually jump within 21 frames of leaving the ground. So that's what he did to get over or to get up onto that branch, and that's called a bomb space jump.
Yeah, if the camera's positioned in a certain way, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically in a way that is going to obstruct it when Samus unmorphs, it just immediately snaps to inside Samus's visor again instead of transitioning slowly the way it normally does. And when you have that property, you can jump for 21 frames after you leave the ground.
Well, you can do it either way, but it takes more than 21 frames to unmorph, so
Yeah.
it doesn't actually work.
Yeah, exactly. It's also useful for saving time in rooms that are really close quarters, like we'll see at the end of Magmore when we go to Phendrana.
So Flagra's bomb slots here, his damageable points aren't actually bomb slots. They're damageable triggers, so I can dash and morph on the outside of the tunnel like this and damage it without actually having to knock up the mirrors.
It also works with power bombs if you have them.
You can actually, if you position yourself correctly too, you can hit multiple of the slots at the same time with the power bomb as well.
And although this fight seems like it's taking really long, which it does take about 2 minutes, it only takes around 20 seconds in game time, which is all that matters to us.
Yeah, also Flagra's not supposed to be attacking like that, but because Justin bombed the slots from the outside, it causes some weird things to happen.
I got a huge damage boost there for no reason. And that's Flagra.
And that is Flagra. And we also get the... We also get rewarded with the extended scene of his death, which is fantastic.
We have time for more donations.
Perfect. Oyster donates $50 and says, Samus learning to phase through matter will never fail to entertain. What a power-up. Freakyod donates $200, says, have to donate during one of my favorite games. Ready for it to be broken wide open. Zoid138 donates $500. It's okay to clap.
Don't look.
And says, another summer, another GDQ Metroid Prime run. Always fun seeing how they break my code. Enjoy the powerbomb maze and keep up the good work.
So Zoid is a developer by the name of David Kirsch who programmed a bunch of the stuff in this game, including the incinerator drone that we saw earlier and the powerbomb maze, which we're going to be seeing later. He actually was on call for commentary for a GDQ run 2 years ago?
3 years ago.
Was it 3 years ago? Yeah, for quite a while ago. And is overall a really cool guy.
Zing0 keeps it simple, donates $100 and says, less animals, more frame saving. But then 2 Harpoon Energy 154 gets to our emotions and says, $15, good luck to all the runners and save the animals or else my puppies will cry.
Alright, so throughout the game you're supposed to be collecting 12 artifacts in order to access the very end of the game. So we ended up getting the first one here in nature. Normally you would search for it with X-ray visor, But since we know where it is, and we can just use missiles, thankfully, to break open the pillar.
If we weren't able to use missiles, it would be a really long backtrack just to get that later in the run. Because we never come back through here.
Yeah, and we also... Oh, wait, 100%, yeah. And any percent, it would waste even more time because you would have to get super missiles, which also takes a huge amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That little tech Justin just did is actually relatively new, and I'd literally never seen it before until he did it in the practice room earlier today. I was like, wait, what? And again, just to drive the point home, it kind of looks like Justin's just like doing stuff to get from point A to point B, but all the movement stuff is actually really complex, and you can save so much time or lose so much time over doing really minor things.
So what I just did there is I bombed one of the breakable blocks, and since you have to do a double bomb jump to reach these, or the needed height, I had to wait for it to respawn.
That's one of the instant unmorphs that I was talking about that saves actually a relatively good amount of time.
Yeah, to hit the point with what Tom was saying about complex tricks saving a small amount of time, the dash, he did save minimal time, but it's pretty difficult to pull that one off.
And again, it looks really cool and flashy, saves not a huge amount of time.
It saves like a second.
Yeah.
So this cutscene, Samus starts walking forward. So we just let it play out a little bit till there.
Keep in mind, I'm still not supposed to have space jump. And I can jump up here and go directly to wave beam.
Normally you're supposed to get boost ball and then head all the way back to Talon Overworld to get space jump, and then come all the way back here to get wave beam.
So yeah, this cuts a lot of the backtracking that the game intends you to do out. Okay, so bombs in this game, when you lay the first bomb, there's a 3-second timer. So he's laying the bomb specifically to get through the room as quickly as possible and not have to bomb the or that breakable floor again because it respawns.
It's a really solid baby she gets.
Nice.
So Shegoth coming out now actually has a weak spot on her neck whenever she's doing the ice breath attack. So by using bombs at the right time, I can pause her during that and kill her quickly.
That quick kill isn't like the hardest thing in the world, but it's definitely quite a bit trickier than Justin made it look there. Also, letting the cutscene play out there actually has a point. So the pickups will spawn so you can dash off them and save a bit of time trying to exit that room. So there's another trick that, again, it looks kind of cool. You zoom over to the corner and do a jump over this wall that you're not supposed to be able to, and save a whole bunch of time, but it actually only saves 1 second, and you lose time if you fail the jump even once.
Yeah, and the jump is when, if you hold L and you jump along a slope, you can get a slope jump, which gives you extra height.
Yeah, the game basically just tries to push you up so you don't move through the ground. And when it does that, it actually gives you upward velocity instead of just adding to your position. So when you jump from that, you can jump from a velocity of not starting at 0, which gives you extra height.
That's still one of my favorite strats. He just jumps on the Sheegoth's head.
Yeah, there's like a puzzle you're supposed to solve and like jump around most of the room and do a whole bunch of stuff like that. It doesn't take like a huge amount of time, but you can just jump on a Sheegoth, so like why not?
And you can also just do another slope jump if you prefer.
Off a snow pile in the corner, yeah. That pirate is a huge jerk.
It's the worst pirate.
I've died to that pirate before.
So that was a really good fight.
Yeah, that
went
went
really good.
that went so much better than it did in practice run. That was great.
Yeah, so if you pull out your scan visor at a certain point when you transition to a beam, you can get a fully charged shot.
Those little series of jumps is unfortunately much more difficult than they look. It's so easy to fall down at times.
Yeah, you're shooting these two pirates to do a cutscene overlap and also unlock the doors at the bottom.
I totally skipped a long boost ball puzzle there too.
Yeah, there's a puzzle you're intended to do that takes forever to start up, so we're just going to avoid it.
So upcoming in this next room, there's a pirate fight trigger, and if I hit it, it's really bad, basically. So I'm going to try and jump behind it.
It covers on all three sides, but it doesn't cover you on the top, so you can just jump up and avoid it and then jump over top of it. It's really silly.
There's just a small piece of collision that you can, or there's like a small area between the back of the door and the trigger that you can jump over so you can get out of it.
Yeah, for some reason, it's just not part of the door trigger, thankfully.
Nice camera.
Continuation of the nice camera.
Yeah, well, allowed for an instant unmorph, though.
Continuation of the nice camera. So this game actually has camera dollies in morphle mode that it tries to follow sometimes, and sometimes it's just wild and does things like that.
And as it turns out, Metroids are actually in this game.
Yes, they do exist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Please enjoy this extremely overdramatic cutscene for a fight that's going to last so long. Yeah!
Thanks, Edward.
I can just jump up and morph on top of this puzzle to skip rolling around it.
And mercifully, because we're running low on energy during this category, we have an energy tank right there. It's also worth pointing out that Metroid Fight isn't supposed to be that easy because you're not supposed to have Ice Beam when you come through here. It's just a good joke.
I believe you're intended to use super missiles on it, because that's your first point. You have a fight with them.
Yeah, you're normally supposed to go back up and out the way you came, but since you have Ice Beam, just gonna go this way and leave.
Yeah, you're supposed to have to fight your entire way through, all the way back through the labs again, with it being dark and annoying, but we don't like that, so we're just gonna avoid it.
So now I'm on my way to Magmore Caverns to collect Plasma Beam. This is probably the biggest detour in the current route. I'm actually going to take a safety save here.
If you don't blow the missile shield off that door, you can actually just shoot power beam shots and have it bounce back like for almost forever with each other. It's really funny. By almost forever, I mean it lasts about 10 seconds before they disappear or something like that.
So in this room, there's usually 3 spinners you have to raise to make it to the top of the room. I'm actually going to skip using 2 of them. This is a pretty hard dash here. And I got it.
Nice.
Use a tiny standing spot there, standable spot there. I skipped using that one. And I can do a slope jump here to reach the door quickly.
Nice. That jump is so much harder than it looks.
Yeah, Plasma Beam's going to make a lot of upcoming fights quite a bit easier because it's supposed to be the last item you get before going to mines a second time.
You can actually, most people don't know this, you can spin the stick while the Triclops have grabbed you and get them to spit you out. It's actually in the manual, but most people don't know that, and I didn't know it for the longest time until I watched a casual do it on Twitch, and I was like, wait, what?
I didn't even know it was in the manual.
Yeah. That's what he said. He was like, dude, it's in the manual. I was like, what? I was like, okay.
Didn't get either. There's a 1-frame window where you can morph after getting the scan.
Yeah.
We have time for donations.
Perfect. Jack879 donates $50 and says, Bustin', it's Jack. Please go back and do E-Core puzzle or my night's only excitement is shot. Old Hoovian donates $25 and says, save the animals. After all, the Metroid canon is just a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff anyway.
Something like that.
Something like that. Dad Jokes Done Quick donates $10 and says, Dad Jokes Done Quick here. They say Samus actually spells her name with 2 M's, but I've never seen it spelled that way. It's almost as if everyone wants to forget about the other M.
I want to disagree, but they're not wrong.
They also add that they're going to donate $10 and a bad joke every night. If we read them all, they'll donate an extra $100 during the finale. And of course, what would a run be without a $150 donation that says, greetings from Germany. It's currently 3 a.m. and I'm really tired, but it's worth it. I put this to Metroid Fusion 0% because I want to see how this is going to work. Good luck and have fun with the Metroid Prime run.
Metroid Fusion 0% is actually a really cool run. So, Justin's going to get a power bomb expansion here, and it, just like the missiles, it just acts like a normal power bomb. You only get 1 instead of 4 that the real one gives you, but they work just the same, except for one instance where you need it to activate a fight trigger.
Yeah, also that room can be very punishing if you fall, and that room is really tricky to climb up fast, so that's actually really good.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tall rooms in Phendrana that are extremely inconvenient to fall down in.
So in the next segment leading up to a boss fight, I really need a power bomb drop, and the RNG is really not in my favor. And if I don't get that power bomb drop, I can lose 20 seconds. So
Yeah, normally you need Plasma Beam and Grapple Beam to get up here, but you can just do a slope jump.
So, if anyone's ever played this game before, the gel zaps that he just killed try to suck you in, and it's obviously not in your best interest to let them try to pull you away from the item you're trying to get, so he kills it to ensure that it doesn't do that.
Yeah, the other thing is, for some reason, gel zaps can do an incredible amount of damage.
Yeah. Most of the enemies in this game will do damage to you, but they'll either have a timeout or a knockback. And gel zaps have neither, so if you just walk up to them, they can kill you extremely fast, and it's really silly.
I've seen someone die in like 2 seconds before.
The only thing faster is the phase on out of bounds and security access A. That has 50 damage a frame.
And this game runs at 60 frames per second.
Yes. It's enough to kill you with full energy tanks in under a second. It's insane.
I got force morph there.
Similarly to when the game like grabs you and decides that you aren't allowed to jump or move for a second, the game will do that with like walls and stuff too, and it'll force you to morph if the game is like, if the game thinks you're too close to a wall or going to be stuck in a wall. It's, again, extremely annoying.
So I have a 2.5% chance of getting a powerbomb drop now.
This is one of the rooms that's really punishing to fall down. Of course, we had to start from the bottom because of where we came from, but if you can fall down here, and it's extremely annoying and wastes a whole amount of time.
And I did not get one.
Nope.
Nice.
Yeah, that can happen. What Justin just did if you forget to switch beams before you morph, you can save a lot of time making sure you switch your beams properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, having the right beam out in preparation for the next room that you need to be going into, especially if you're going to be morphed when you come up to the door, is actually pretty huge because it wastes so much time if you have to fiddle around with stuff.
Yeah, this boss is a lot faster because of Plasma Beam.
Yeah. This boss in general is extremely inconvenient because it's slow in general, and to do it quickly, you have to hit Thardus while he's rolling. And hitting him while he's rolling is not exactly easy. And unfortunately, it's the optimal thing to do. So we try our best, but Justin's doing a great job right now, thankfully.
Yeah, again, you're not supposed to manually aim. The game isn't designed around manually aiming anything, or manually aiming at anything, so being able to pull it off during this fight is really difficult.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, so if Justin managed to get a power bomb, you can actually use that power bomb here and instantly, pretty near instantly destroy this last phase. Okay, so when Justin fired that super missile, he pulled out the scan visor. There's a bit of a knockback after you use super missiles, and you can't do anything for 2 seconds.
Despite not having a power bomb, that was a pretty good fight.
That was good. But yeah, if you pull out scan visor after using a super missile, you cancel the period of time where you can't do anything with your arm cannon.
It's not so much in Prime. It still does save a little bit of time, but in Echoes especially, it saves a whole bunch of time because Samus holds on to her arm cannon forever in Echoes.
Well, it's more the fact that you have super missile doors in Echoes.
That was good. Those troopers can hit you with missiles and fling you across the map and cost so much time. It's extremely unfortunate.
And luckily there's a standable spot that you can get on and just morph, roll in. You don't have to bomb jump up. So we'll see if you got a power bomb from the Scarabs.
I didn't.
Nope.
I have quite a few more opportunities to get a power bomb drop, a few guaranteed. So it's not a big worry.
The Scarabs and Chozo have ridiculous power bomb drop rates for whatever reason.
As you can probably tell, 100% is always hurting on power bomb drops.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. After you beat Thardus, you need 7, I believe, for the rest of the game, which is a huge amount
You need
considering how often you get them.
5 or 6.
You need 5 after Omega Pirate.
I got a drop there, so that's good.
That's good.
I have time for donations.
Perfect. Anonymous donates $10 and says, "Hey guys, I've been watching for years and now it's time to donate. Greetings from Nanjing, China." We also have an anonymous $5 donation that says, "Let's keep up the bad jokes. What's wrong with making them at the prime time?" We have a $10 donation from Kelvin, who says, "Huge fan of the Metroid series. The immersion and exploration of this game is what drew me in. Also, shout out to my bro Edson. Let him decide to save the animals or not."
Save them.
Bennett N donates $10 and says, "SGDQ 2017 is amazing so far, and we're not even through the first day yet. Thanks for such an amazing event. Putting my donation towards Metroid Fusion 0% because it sounds really interesting." Cat Goats donates $150 and says, "Who cares about frames when there are animals to save?" Although I will say that someone named Cat Goats might be a little biased.
So right now we're collecting missile combos, collecting one, and they're not particularly useful except at the very final boss, which we'll see. Because it actually saves a decent amount of time at 100% over other categories.
Usually there's a long morph ball puzzle you have to do here, but thankfully you can jump on everything. You can jump straight to it.
Yeah, Metroid Prime is great, and it's one of those games where if you can see it and it looks like you can stand on it, there's extremely high probability that you can. So this room is pretty tricky, and it's really easy to get messed up like that. We have to climb it in order to get 2 items here, actually, for 100% completion. Nice. So
Yeah, so he was standing on invisible platforms that you would use X-ray to find out where they are, but since we know where they are, or since he knows where they are, just jumps on them.
yeah, they always exist regardless of whether you have X-ray or not, so we can just stand on them, thankfully. Now we're on our way to doing cleanup in Chozo, getting all the remaining items and stuff we couldn't get the first time around. And we probably have time for donations here.
Yeah.
Perfect. We have a $50 donation from Thibault du Capelet, who says, SGDQ has almost made me cry several times, from the incredible amount of runs submitted earlier this year, to all the people giving their time and money, and finally to the great interactions I've had with fellow gamers during the first game. This donation goes to naming the master in ActRaiser, Koshiro, after the master composer of that game's soundtrack. And we have an anonymous $50 donation that says, Roses are red, violets are blue, this poem is bad, SGDQ. I will donate another $50 if the host reads this in his best Kermit voice. Don't let me down, host. I hope that was good enough for you. Fun fact, that's actually my regular voice. I'm trying really hard to do this one.
So usually you're supposed to missile all the panels around this wall to make the floor drop down, and you can jump on it, but like I said, you can jump on anything. You can simply scale the room.
This game is the ultimate example. If you set your mind to it, you can do it, because you can just stand on everything. It's another one of the 12 artifacts that are required to beat the game. Regardless of whatever category you're playing, you have to get these artifacts, or else the final area of the game is just not unlockable or completable.
Rick Mandigo donates $50 and says, my almost 6-year-old says, SGDQ, your work is so good for the past few years.
Yeah, so here's another long morph ball puzzle that you can just skip by jumping and laying a bomb down low.
In addition to being able to stand on anything that you can see, you can also fairly often stand on things you can't see either.
Okay, so here's an example of hitting a low trigger before going to the door. That's why he jumped up there.
Now that we have over 100 missiles, we get to not fight the missile boss. The simple R jump across, I can skip the trigger.
Yeah, the trigger's on the bridge, so you just avoid the bridge and you're good.
Good game.
Mad Crash SJ donates $200 and says, for charity and for the game that got me into the Metroidvania genre, Metroid Prime. A very well-made game, deserving of the many accolades laid upon it.
I think it's interesting that person decided to say it was well made, because it really is. There's a lot of stuff that this game does, or that you can do to this game that would crash or make any other game freak out, and the game handles it. And it does weird things, but it handles it and keeps going, and it's really interesting how well this game was written in a lot of ways.
I would say this game is well ahead of its time, considering how well good it looks after 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth pointing out that this game came out a year and a half after Majora's Mask did. Of course, they're on different consoles, and you can't really compare it that way, but like, it's an interesting way to look at it.
It's a pretty big jump in quality of graphics.
Yeah, for sure. In addition to Super Missile animation canceling, you can also cancel the Super Missile entirely, unfortunately. Nice. Nice.
Nice.
You got a power bomb too, which is great.
Yeah, you really don't have much time to pull that off.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things that didn't look particularly impressive, but actually is way more difficult than it should be.
Yeah, there's time for a donation or two.
Perfect. Anonymous donates $50 and says, thanks to all the runners for always providing dozens of hours of speedrunning awesomeness for us to enjoy, and for giving my wife yet another reason to call me a nerd. I also love that this is family friendly, so my older kids can enjoy watching as well. Thanks also to the GDQ staff and Doctors Without Borders for the great work that they are doing. Polka donates $175 and says, hey all, big fan. I've been watching every year for 3 years now. I should be writing my PhD thesis right now, but can't resist all those speedruns. Shout out to Shibs who got me into GDQ. Good luck with your thesis, Polka.
So coming up is a pretty risky wall crawl I'm going to do to skip fighting a few ghosts in the room called Training Chamber.
By the way, wall crawl is a term we use for navigating out of bounds.
And there's just another example of standing on things you can't see.
Just waiting for the room to load. Wow.
I missed the trigger.
Nice.
Nice.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, with most rooms like that, you can like drop a little bit below the level of the door and load it and walk back onto it before the room actually fully loads, which is what Justin did. And it was made a lot more difficult by the fact the camera wanted to be inside this room instead of where he could actually watch Samus drop down.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with manually loading rooms though from out of bounds, because if you load too many of them at once, the game can crash.
Yeah, there's not too many instances where you can make this game crash, but out of bounds loading too many things is one of them. This game has like 3 pools of memory it can read to and write from, and they're big, small, and medium things, and sometimes if you load too many rooms, the medium-sized things pool overloads and the game crashes because it doesn't have anywhere it can put more stuff.
You have time for more donations.
Cool. GFX Ambassador donates $50 and says, great start to SGDQ 2017. Thanks to everyone involved, and thanks to all who donate. Remember to check your employer's donation matching policies and register. I'd also like to take a moment to talk about upcoming incentives. For Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you can still choose the file name. The current top 3 choices are Pig Egg, Alphotic, and Grand Pooh Bear. So if you like one of those or want to get your own in there, donate to that now.
Apparently, Castlevania Symphony of the Night had a world record in the practice room earlier today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well done, practice room.
Unrecorded, yeah.
Let's see it mimicked on stream. You can also choose the character for Assault Android Cactus. Holly is currently in the lead, 99 cents above Starch. And Cactus is trailing behind by $26. Anonymous donates $1,000 and says, "Hi, SGDQ. Let's say hello back, everyone."
Hello.
So I'm about to do the same wall crawl as I did earlier, but only halfway, as I'm going to door warp, which means I'm going to make a room load around me so I can go back in bounds earlier than intended. Although going out of bounds isn't intended in the first place.
And again, on the fact that this jump is really ornery. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, so he's doing this again to skip a puzzle.
Got it.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, back to what I said earlier quite a while ago about Metroid Prime randomly grabbing you in 2 pieces of collision meat. That's another example of that, and extremely disadvantageous one if it had held on to him for any longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can sometimes hold on for a long time, and you can boost to get an incredible amount of speed.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, you can even skip triggers, like music triggers.
Yeah. I was doing a stream quite a while ago where I got stuck in the tunnel in Training Chamber where we were a while ago, and I was able to boost for 30 seconds before the game let go just because it decided that it didn't want to let go. It was insane. You actually might have been in that stream, Mary, I think.
And now we're back in this room to get an artifact, which
Yeah.
is one reason we also fought the ghost earlier.
Yeah, other than the fact that you have to for the speed of the route. But yeah, realistically, if we could skip this room in the ghost fight, we would, but we have to get this artifact, which again, they're all essential to the completion of the game. And again, also essential for the fact that it's 100% category.
Trevor152 donates $250 and says, "I will always donate to listen to Zem sing." And again, that's for the Ratchet & Clank opera singing after the run, which is, I'm now sure of, Thursday morning, roughly 6:15 a.m.
Yeah, so we have to go through the save station anyway, so Justin took a safety save. Because why not?
We have time for a lot more donations.
Perfect. I'll keep going. Skull64 says, donates $50 and says, "Greetings from the back couch. Skull here. I personally watch much more speedruns without used fusion suit because these speedruns are real.
So there's a really awesome member of the community named Master88, and he speaks Finnish primarily, but he also speaks English, and he tries his best, and that's all there is to say about that.
Balthazar donates $15 and says, last time I saw and played this game was more than 10 years ago when I was 12. The invisible enemies and the dramatic music always scared me. Now I'm watching you run past them like nothing. Oh man, the memories. Glad GDQ exists. Thank you for running this game.
He didn't get bapped by those turrets, which is really convenient, because sometimes they can absolutely spank you into a corner, and it's really annoying to get back to where you're trying to go. Nice, that was a really clean energy core room. And you also got the fast door, which was really weird.
You just make sure you're near the door once you hit the fourth. Once you hit the fourth spot.
Comrade Mikey donates $10 and says, the very best of RNG to all the participants. MSF is a wonderful charity and they deserve every penny they get. Kill the animals. Get wrecked, animals. P.S. Hi, Rhea and Lex. Heart emoji. Also, just a reminder that if you donate now, a donation of more than $10, you're entered to win Metroid Prime posters and Samus pixel painting in terms of prizes. And they are wonderful, so be sure to do that.
You can boost up there all the way, but they make nice.
Nice.
Ron F. donates $10 and says, because my boys grew up healthy and loving video games. Because Doctors Without Borders gives children and families worldwide the opportunity to do the same. More than happy to be a part of this effort, however humble. And Icefire donates $200 and says, you went the wrong way. They sound like they know what they're talking about. Are you sure you're going the right way?
There's actually a really awesome glitch that happens in that cutscene if you haven't gotten any suits yet. If you have the original power suit that's given to you when you come off the frigate, all the 3D model bones that Samus is comprised of are just stretched insanely over the screen, and it looks so ridiculous. that seedling always drops a power bomb, so it's worth killing it every single time. As long as you're not full, of course.
Yeah, from a design standpoint, you're not supposed to be able to get out of there by jumping like that. So if you go there without a power bomb, then there's no chance of getting out otherwise. So they put that enemy in there. So it was a smart design choice.
Justin didn't get knocked off the bridge into the phase-on, which is also good.
Alec Fleischer donates $10 and says, Metroid Prime is so good. I have fond memories of looking at outdated strats on Metroid 2002. Never actually did any running because Out of Bounds is nuts. Can't wait for Prime 4. Save the animals because it makes fusion canon. That one was pretty good. Adam wasn't a jerk in that one.
Probably forgot to mention there that I just did a simple jump and avoided the pirate trigger, so I don't have to fight them.
Yeah, the trigger for the pirates is like on that walkway below you to get all the way up here.
Yeah, so because Justin didn't hit that trigger, the pirates are just standing there.
And instead of using Spider Ball, I can do a slope jump and just jump right over the crane.
Fun fact, if you do this normally, you can't unmorph on there.
Yeah, the game actually has triggers, which at times the developers put places to prevent you from unmorphing, or to force you into morphing if you're somehow unmorphed, and that place is one of them.
Thankfully, it doesn't force you to morph, though.
Yeah. And now to get a major item that is used a grand total of 0 times. Hopefully.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like a major upgrade that unlocks huge areas of the game. And if I recall correctly, it was actually the first item that was skipped when trying to intentionally skip items when this game first came out. And it was skipped because jumping exists, and this is Metroid Prime, and you can stand on anything.
And if there's a pit that you need to cross with grapple beam normally, you can just do a dash or any variety of things.
Yeah. There's a lot of them you can literally just jump across without using any special tech at all, and it's like, well, all right. So we don't really like this guy, so we're just going to avoid him.
Thanks.
See you later. Nice, got a power bomb there.
Yeah, again, you need 5 power bombs after Omega Pirate, so managing your power bombs is kind of crucial in the late stages of the game.
Optimally, you're going to want about 6 or 7.
Yeah, there's one that's not necessary, but it saves time, so 6.
Is that the trooper skip one?
7.
I got a power bomb drop here too.
Nice.
That's a really low % chance.
Makes up for the not getting one at Thardus.
Nice, you got 2 really good boosts there, which is sort of hard to get on those sometimes because they're slanted.
Managed to not take damage
Yeah,
there.
by the way, with this Elite Pirate, if you don't go into direct field of vision, you can just spam missiles at it, and it's just going to turn like an idiot. Bye.
Every single of the big pirates has that glitch in their AI. If you move away from them and so they can't face you immediately when their animation starts, they'll just keep trying to face you, and you can just keep walking around them.
All right, so this has 300 possible mazes ranging from 15 to 55 squares, odd numbers only and not counting 53. In the practice room, you got 15 earlier.
This looks like a pretty good maze.
This looks like a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Wow.
that's, wow.
It's a 19, I think.
Yeah, that looks like 19.
Goodness. There's literally one 15 square maze.
There's 4.
Is there 4?
Yeah, there's one 55 square.
Oh, right, yeah, there's 155.
So I'm going to take another safety save here. There's a run ending trick coming up.
Right at the end of the run, of course. Nice.
Nice.
Good power bomb count.
Yeah. He waited a moment before going in there because there's a small window where if you pull out the scan visor when going into that room, because of the lag that's caused, it could end up crashing the game.
It actually applies to any room. If you transition to any room while you change visors on one frame, it'll crash in any room. It happened to RWeb in the crash frigate near the end of 100% run as well.
Is this a good time for a comment and a donation?
Yeah.
Cool. Just as a reminder for everyone donating, the Castlevania Symphony of the Night file name choice incentive ends when Justin calls time, so get your donations in now. Pig Egg is currently at $635.02, which is only $7.02 more than our new up-and-coming HP More. If you want one of those to win, get in now.
Nice
Oh, that's
ultra.
a nice ultra drop. It's needed. Well,
So this-
it's not needed, but
This next trick that he's going to do costs a ridiculous amount of energy, so any energy that he can get here is really, really useful. And he got another power bomb drop, which is just awesome.
I'm going to need some serious time for this. I got it.
I'm good.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, so they...
Oh, that ultra there.
Yeah, I got
Nice.
an ultra.
Yeah, so you're really not supposed to do that normally, like, because there's actually a trigger halfway through the tunnel where on top of the normal phase-on damage, you take an additional 1.2 damage per frame. Nice Metroids.
So still haven't picked up the missile.
Is there one out of bounds?
Yeah, well, there was. It killed itself. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. That trick is actually easier in the European version of the game because Retro reduced the amount of environmental damage that Phazon has. So they either were totally unaware of the trick, which many people have been doing for years, or for a couple months by the time the game was out, or they just didn't care, and they're like, well,
All right, so I have an absurd amount of power bombs right now. I shouldn't have to worry about them for the rest of the run.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you've got an ample amount.
Like we said, this is the required amount after Thardus, so this is just great.
So again, with Omega Pirate, you just go off to the side and same AI applies.
Another Ultra.
Wow.
Another
Another
Ultra.
what?
Goodness.
Okay, so basically the way this fight works is you have 3 pools that Omega Pirate spawns from. Omega Pirate will spawn in the pool furthest away from you and will not spawn into the same pool twice. So Justin's going in specific spots to manipulate where Omega Pirate will spawn. The other thing is that you have to have X-ray visor out. Omega Pirate cannot be damaged without using cannot be damaged unless you have X-ray visor equipped.
Good.
Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Bash Prime donates $15 and says, "Can the Prime Couch talk about the L-Lock Spring Space Jump?"
All right, so it's kind of funny. Somebody who donated referred to how out of date Metroid 2002 is. And on the website, there's a technique listed for extra distance that doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't work. It doesn't exist. But it's there, and you can read all about it, and it's fantastic. And it's called the L-Lock Spring Space Jump. Another power
Oh my
bomb drop.
goodness.
All right, I have max power bombs here.
Yeah, that dash to the power bomb, or to that missile expansion can be a little tricky because there's a,
And another.
Another power bomb drop.
there's a invisible platform in the way that you need to kind of get around.
So here's a really stupid jump to skip this elite pirate again.
It's kind of similar to the pirate battle skip in mines, or in
I
labs,
got
because
it.
you just jump over it.
Yeah, and there's a small space where you can actually just jump through it.
Yeah, for no reason in particular.
That pirate can be horrible in any percent, so it's always so satisfying to shoot him. In
It's also
100%.
really good bouncing luck.
Oh yeah, by the way, he entered this room backwards.
Yeah, he
See?
boosted through a wall to get to where he is. You can see it over there.
Oops. Oh, this is the spot Tom mentioned earlier where you cannot blow that up unless you have Bane power bombs.
And another power bomb.
Another power bomb drop.
Never seen so many power bomb drops. Was that a power bomb drop too?
No, I think that was it? My God.
So since I missed the dash to the missile, I have to reclimb this room to get it.
If I recall correctly, the chance of a power bomb drop in this room is like 4.5% or something like that.
It's very low.
That's insane.
And he got it twice.
Gosh. There is actually a spreadsheet with all the real percentages of drop rates in rooms. And again, I don't remember exactly, but it is startlingly low. So the fact he got it twice is hilarious.
Yeah. And this game just, it doesn't matter what you have in your inventory, unlike Prime 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's strict percentages. And
Yeah.
it's just all luck at that point.
Yeah, Prime 2 accounts for not only what is in your inventory, but it also accounts for the drops that are on the field right now, which Prime does neither of. It's just like, all right.
You can have 2 health and get 50 missiles.
Even though you're full, well, if you're full on missiles, it doesn't show anything.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the best part. It's like, oh, if you wanted health, we're going to give you missiles, but if you have missiles, you just get nothing instead.
So since I also entered this room backwards, I have to force lock this door over here since it normally locks. If I don't do that, I soft lock because killing the wave pirates also unlocks that door, and you can't unlock a unlocked door. So.
Yeah, so basically, if you kill the wave pirates, you use the unlock trigger that you have, and then you go and you lock the door because you haven't actually locked it yet, so you screw yourself over.
Oh, these are in a very good position.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was awesome. That was 40 missiles.
Those pirates can sometimes be spread across this room.
And another power bomb drop.
Okay, that was actually frightening for a moment. I'm like, why is it not unlocking?
It just has to wait until the pirates are fully dead.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I killed
Sometimes they
the-
slide around too, and it
Yeah,
like
that.
prevents them from dying fast enough.
And now all the pirates get activated.
Yeah, when you scan the gate and make it disappear, there's a layer change that forces the pirates to be activated, even if you've ignored that trigger earlier on in the game. We have time for a couple more donations here, I think.
Chaos King 1236 donates $150. Thank you, Chaos King 1236. Joe Person donates $10. Says, hey guys, longtime viewer, first time donor. Now that I've got a job, I thought I should chip in even a little. It's so much fun to see you guys breaking games and making change. Save the animals. Someone donates $25 and says, longtime viewer here, thanks for keeping up the good work. Have some fun, everyone. If you can pronounce my name right, I will donate another $50. Luckily, they didn't say right on the first try. So thank you, Delera, Dilera, and Dilira. I hope one of those was right. Crade donates $50 and says, you would have killed me in 3 seconds, but I still wish I was in this game. Ridley gets all the fun. The Iscariot donates $15 and says, man, this Super Mario game is intense. Couch's choice for save or kill the animals.
I think save.
Save.
Save, I guess.
Well,
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
That's really nice.
It was a swag strat. All right, so here we get to see the final missile count in a second, and we are going to hope it's not at 245. All right, good.
Good. You can just dash over.
An important part of 100% is collecting all the missiles. So if it's at 245, then we have a problem.
Yeah, if you miss a missile expansion, it's really hard to figure out where exactly you missed one. Yeah. That room takes like 8 seconds to load, so you can just write a nice message on the wall.
I remember when Zoid was talking about his contribution to the game and writing compression algorithms so the rooms would load faster. He said his biggest failure in this whole game was the artifact temple loading because it was so painful every time. So there's a trick there that Justin went for that is flyby speed was frame perfect. I
Frame
think?
perfect.
Yeah.
Frame perfect.
And it's basically impossible to tell exactly when the frame is, but it's when he transitions from being hurt to flying off. And if you hit him then, he'll land immediately and save a good 20 seconds, I believe.
Yeah,
Did
something
he get
like
the
that.
boost? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and he
boost
got me
ball.
to boost, yeah.
Yeah, boost ball against Ridley deals 50,000 damage per frame.
Yeah. And again, the game runs at 60 frames a second, and Ridley has
2,000
800 health.
health.
2,000
health, yeah. So it does some pretty good damage pretty quickly. Nice.
I didn't know
And
you
we
could
got
shoot him there.
Ridley invincibility
Yeah,
too. So one of the only good things that Retro did with the PAL version of this game was fix that invincibility glitch. But unfortunately, they also made Ridley extremely annoying on the PAL version, so
He got a new attack, didn't he?
yeah, he does a new attack where he jumps around and lands and tries to land on you. All right, good.
That was nice.
Because that totem never actually got blown up during the Ridley fight, you can still scan it even though it's technically not there. They don't remove the scan even though they remove the actual collision. So this is the final area of the game. Nice. Got a BSJ there to skip a majority of the meandering around the room that this room has. And
That's a
even
nice
got
dash
the
with
really
Metroid.
good dash too, yeah.
This whole area of the game looks really nice, so it's kind of sad that it's very small.
Yeah. The game in general is well designed, but that area specifically is really, really interesting and intricate. I also extremely appreciate that spider ball puzzle that's completely optional.
Yeah.
Nice. So it's worth noting that the flamethrower beam combo actually damages the power phase. And as I recall, it's actually a very tiny bit quicker than super missiles, but it wastes so much missiles that it's usually not worth it unless you have like really controlled
It's
conditions.
a lot faster than super missiles.
Yeah.
It can end the phase in 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. That was really good.
That was.
It's also good luck. You didn't get wave second.
Yeah.
Wait. Yes,
What?
he did.
It looked just like Ice Beam.
It did.
Yeah, so Metroid Prime has 4 sub-chambers. First one, you get power and wave once each. Second one's power, wave, ice. Third is one of each beam. And the last one is random as to what it gives you.
And as you just saw, Metroid Prime used grapple beam more than I did.
Nice. So yeah, what he's doing there is standing in front of Prime as it charges, and there's a very small window. Even though Prime isn't actually colored, you can still hit it with the attack you just used to end that phase, and it'll still do damage.
You can do it when he turns around as well.
Yes, and you can do it when he turns around as well. So you'll do it again right here. Nice, and you got it with Plasma, which is really good.
Yeah, Plasma deals the most damage, so you can end the phase early.
Ice Beam actually does double damage against Metroid Prime in this
1.5.
fight. Was it 1.5? Right. For no reason in particular, other than to make up for the fact it has slow shot rate, I guess. I'm not exactly sure why.
Good, she's cooperating.
That's good.
Plasma.
Yeah, Plasma Ice is the ideal combination here.
Well, in any percent. And 100% just don't get wave.
Well, yeah, that's true. Nice.
I believe power is actually fastest on Subchamber 4.
Oh.
Ow.
Wow.
Goodness.
Wow.
And yeah, Prime can just switch randomly and also hit you without actually touching you, apparently. Was that walking without holding the L button?
It was.
Nice.
Absolutely filthy. Nice. So yeah, the game's over now.
So yeah, if you skip this cutscene immediately, the music just doesn't play at all. Fun fact, if you skip it right before the fight begins, then it shows a white screen forever.
Yeah. There's like, it's before, at the very beginning, at the very end, I think. Or like, I don't know. There's an amount of time where if you skip the cutscene, it's just a white screen forever, and it's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, so Justin's moving in a spot where he can manipulate where Essence is, and what he's doing here is shooting the hyper beam at a specific time, or phazon beam at a specific time, to cancel Essence's attacks.
Yeah.
And what this does is it will have her lay the pool immediately.
Yeah, Essence has a scripted amount of attacks that she does every like little phase like this after she drops a pool. So if you interrupt them, obviously it saves a huge amount of time and she drops pools faster. It used to be that you would strafe in and out of pools to do this, but Justin figured out that it was generally a lot easier and much more consistent to just sit in a pool and do it. If you strafe in and out of the pool, you can make the pool last a bit longer, but the possibility of messing up a run at the very, or not necessarily messing up, but wasting time at the end of a run is very high versus just sitting in a pool and doing it, so it's usually worth it to just do that.
Yeah,
he's
so
doing it. He's doing it now, as you can see.
Get ready for time. And time. So the time was 1:42:16. That is only 3 minutes off my personal best. So it was a pretty good run.
Yeah.
Remember, he lost around 2 minutes at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So this was a really good run.
That was. Yeah, what was the final escape time? It was like
3:05 or something.
Yeah.
Don't remind
Which is,
me.
yeah, it was extremely unfortunate. So minus Frigate, that was nearly world record. Of course, minus all these things, it didn't go correctly. Go figure it.
So now I'm waiting for the end game time, which actually matters.
Yeah. RTA is a fun little joke, but Metroid Prime uses in-game time because if your game has a timer, why not use it?
Especially an accurate one.
Yeah, exactly. Metroid Prime, it counts, well, it counts to the frame, which is 0.24 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
0.024, right?
Yep.
0.024, yeah. So yeah, it counts time extremely accurately, so there's no reason not to use it.
Yeah, and there's a program where you can figure out the in-game time if you save at the ship before the end of the game, and then you just...
And then you frame count the last bit of the run, yeah?
Yeah.
Thankfully, I can hold down on the credits here and make them scroll faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that in Prime 2 or skip any cutscenes, so
You
it takes
also,
like 8 minutes.
You also can't do it on the Japanese version of this game. Only the Japanese version for some reason.
I believe the credits are written in English on the Japanese version, right?
I believe they are, yes.
Yeah, and you can't skip it there. Weird.
I'd also like to point out the little throwback that the Metroid Prime 3 does to this ending sequence as well is kind of interesting.
I didn't even know about. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. 116.
That's
not
good.
bad.
Pretty good.
That's the fastest marathon time ever for it, as far as I know.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Spoilers.
Oh no. This is actually its own room in the game, is it not?
I think so.
I believe.
Yeah.
This save screen actually does literally nothing. It doesn't matter what you do. It just does nothing and then puts you back in the main menu.
All right.
All right.
That's it for Metroid Prime.
That was Metroid Prime, run by JustinDM. Now we're going to cut to a quick commercial, and then we'll be back with more Summer Games Done Quick 2017.
No more your weak stuff up in this humpy bumpy, but I hope that you still will allow me to bump the kicking it, baby. The stereo's pumping, spin it for your friends and get the whole place jumping. Fucking you, man, I do what you like. Walked in like a pimp, cause I'm magic on the mic. We're getting stupid. Got the time pandemonium. I gas on the mic when I step into the podium. I don't front, now baby, don't be cruel to a lyrical gangster of the old school. I'm cooler than cool, matter of fact, I get ridiculous. And when I bust a funky rhyme, you know that I got sick of this. To this deliciousness, so get down with my sickness, my viciousness, malicious. I'm ridiculous, quicker than this. Ain't G-Funk, we're on a whole new level. The rhythm is the bass and the bass is the got nothing to lose. Got a dope ass fade and $200 shoes. Eat when I'm calling dudes out like chumps. With the beats banging, I let the bass bump. I never start static and I'm all about style. In the dictionary, I'm the definition of fly. Stay calm while I pull your fools out of the strands. I'm slipping out. All I wanna do is dance.
Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2017. The next run coming up is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, any percent glitchless, run by Dragon Blitz. And there was an incentive for the file name, which is now finished, and the winner is Pig Egg. Pig Egg. I like it. We have a $15 donation from Azumi Okami, who says, "Thank you so much for another year and amazing job with the Metroid Prime speedrun. Wish I could stay up to see the Okami speedrun too, but you know how work is. Keep up the awesome work and save the animals." MCNVH donates $10 and says, "I've been watching GDQ since 2014 and it's one of my favorite parts of each year. Way to go, everybody, on all your hard work and dedication, and way to go for all the millions you've raised for good causes." Octoweenie donates $15 and says,
Greetings from Melbourne, Australia. We've been listening since 3 a.m. here. It's great to see you guys pick apart games like this. Metroid Prime took me months to complete, so seeing it completed this fast is great. I'll donate another $15 if you read this in your best Sherelle's Martinet Mario voice.
Luckily, they said best, not an accurate one, so that counts. Avalos donates $10 and says, I've treasured the Metroid series for many years, and seeing it on the speedrun circuit is always fun. Seeing how broken one of my favorite games really can be is definitely entertaining. Keep up the great runs. And we do have some more character choice and naming the player incentives. So if you're interested in choosing the character for Assault Android Cactus, Aubergine is now in the lead, followed by Starch and Holly. So if you want a certain character, get your donations in now. You can also choose to name the character in ActRaiser, name the player in ActRaiser. Sioban is first place, followed by Koshiro, and in third is CBX. And because I like it, I'm going to mention again, you can get some opera after Ratchet & Clank on Thursday. Wonderful incentive if you're not sure what else to donate to. Tiernan CP donates $30 and says, love a good Metroid run? Keep up the good work, everyone. Thank you, Tiernan. Ryan S. donates $50.58 and says, hey SGDQ, my wife and I just had to donate to get a shot at that NES Classic that you can't buy anywhere. I hope we win so I can make it up to my family for only talking about SGDQ all week. Doctors should save lives, runners should save frames, and donors should kill the animals. And what Ryan is referring to there is if you have an over $50 of cumulative donations, which means you don't have to make them all at once, but make a total of $50 over the week or more, you'll be entered for the running of the NES Classic Edition. Good luck, Ryan. Good luck. Castlevania Symphony of the Night is the next run, any percent glitchless run by Dragon Blitz. It's going to be a great run, so I hope you're ready for it. In terms of saving or killing the animals, Kill the Animals is currently ahead by $1,500. And it's the first day, so it's a done deal, right? No! Get those donations in there. Unless you want to kill the animals, or save them, or don't. Get those donations in now. Cuddlejoy donates $24 and says, "Hi SGDQ, loving these runs so far. Best of luck to all the runners." Garrett78 donates $150 and says, "2 drums and a cymbal fall off a cliff. Ba-doom-ts." CareBear21 donates $15.58 and says, "This is my first SGDQ. My husband Ryan introduced me to speedrunning this year and now I'm addicted. Doctors Without Borders saves people, but we should kill the animals." Anonymous donates $15 and says, "I've watched lots of SGDQ and AGDQ on YouTube, but this is my first time watching it live. It's great. Save the animals because I'm not heartless." Shifty Satchmo donates $100 and says, "I love games done quick." Lame Swift donates $25 and says, "Castlevania Symphony of the Night is my favorite game. Never been able to donate before and it makes me happy to finally do it. Good luck. Also, kill every animal. All of them." Rorig donates $150 and says, "Thanks to the GDQ staff and runners for putting on yet another great event. Here's to a great week. Have fun, y'all." Alright, and now we're going to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, any percent glitchless with Dragon Blitz. Have fun, Dragon Blitz.
Thanks. Oh, I can hear myself. Awesome. So yeah, what was the file name again?
The winning file name was Pig Egg.
Pig
with a
Egg.
Space in between pig and egg.
Awesome.
Very important.
Thanks
space.
everyone for donating. I have no clue what this means, so... But yeah, thanks anyways. So yeah, we're about to get ready for this. We good? Okay. I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go.
So this is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, any percent Alucard glitchless. This is still the prologue of the game, where you're going to still use somewhat of a glitch.
Yeah, you guys kind of been. This is kind of a fraud category.
No, I mean as you said before, like this is Richter.
it's okay.
Richter's allowed to use glitches in this category. Alucard is not.
Well, it's Alucard glitchless. Richter doesn't matter.
So the glitch that was performed is called a damage stack glitch. When you throw a holy water as you're doing the Hydro Storm item crash, it kind of pseudo-randomly decides to just do damage on every frame. So, yeah.
A lot of DPS in such little time.
We just kind of allow it because it's more convenient to allow the glitch than not. And also, as we said, Richter's doing it, not Alucard. So Alucard's pure in his glitchlessness. This game is actually pretty broken, so there are glitches that may happen.